I don't know if you folks are watching me or not, but my middleman isn't there.
Good morning. Welcome to your Finance Life Now this week with Dr. G-Rex Kruhly. I'm Owen, the Middliest, and this program is a program that happens every week, brought to you by GoGLOBAL Business School. Good morning, Dr. G. How are you?
Very good, thank you. How about yourself, Owen?
I'm good. I got lost out because of the connection for maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on there.
Yeah, we were just on the backstage, and then it just went. This program has allowed us to actually look a lot more into depth healing and into your work and how you actually bring all this together, different modalities to what we now know as depth healing. We spend a lot of time understanding the final part of the surgery. There are two other components as far as I know. There is the heart coherence meditation that we go through, and then there is also the Diksha. So maybe today we can spend a bit of time understanding this whole thing about the heart coherence meditation, because I do active meditations and I do Vipassana, and those are very different from heart coherence meditation, yeah? So maybe you can take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, it's more than worthwhile because it's I would say it's the hottest, most famous topic in the entire globally right now, thanks to the work of Dr. Sarah Childrey. She started, I think, about 30 years ago with what she calls heart math. Strange name, heart math, but it's an energy model meditation, right? So your kind of meditation, classical meditation, is a consciousness meditation.
That's right.
And what he's doing, folks, if you're not familiar with words like Vipassana and so forth, they sit very still with a nice straight posture, of course, and then they focus their attention. Well, first of all, for Vipassana and all consciousness meditation, including the energy meditation, the breath is the fundamental object that they're going to focus on. Breath is the interface between this world and the next. Okay. When your last breath leaves your body, you do too. Breath is the number one top of tops, right?
Yes.
And the thing about the breath is the reason it's so another reason it's so good as an object of focus, because really for meditation you can focus on anything. It's just an object of focus. It's a point. Okay. The reason they love the breath is because it's continuous. It's always there. And then, of course, it ties into physiology and all kinds of things. So what they do in Owen's way or Zen, let's say it's Linzai Zen or Soto Zen, any kind, they put their attention quietly on their breath, and then they try to be aware if a thought comes. So thoughts, as I've taught you, thoughts do not belong to you. You're not any of your thoughts. It's a field, and it's moving. It's very, 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 very ancient, and everything is there. All the information that's in strata. So the antenna array of your brain picks up or is tuned to certain strata of information. Like Einstein, his frequency, I think it was infrared light spectrum level, and that's where he gets all of that high detailed scientific information. And a musician, some great musician like Debussy, his mind is picking up a different strata.
Right.
So they, in a consciousness model, they say watch the thought come and go. Focus the breath, watch the thought come and go. Okay, it's a consciousness model. the trick with the consciousness model is it's very elusive, and you can do it for 60, 70 years and never get anywhere. Or you can be one of the few that go very far. You know, if you look at Dogen or some great Zen master, those people have profound consciousness. Now, an energy in a heart coherence meditation. But by the way, when they're doing a consciousness model, the research shows it does not necessarily correlate with heart coherence. Heart coherence is, you may or may not ever go near it. So heart coherence is specific. So the area of us that is our higher self or true self, or like if you want to use the word soul, it's all just semantics. But that is your heart, your heart. And inside your heart, it's been maybe 10 years now, they discovered a neurologic brain. There's a brain, just like the brain here. It consists of 40,000 neurons. Okay. Now, the heart has a variability rhythm, and when the heart is really healthy and in tune, the variability rhythm of its beating is changing all the time.
Right.
That's a really healthy and in tune heart. A heart that is getting more and more real steady line is going down, is weak, sick, dying, something like that. Till eventually, of course, when a person's dead, you see the heart rate, it's a flat line.
That's right.
So a good heart, it's really moving. Now, this heart, your heart's brain, which is meant to be the primary brain, not this guy, it has 4 main pathways up into this brain. So it's talking to this brain. This brain only has 1 pathway to the heart. That's why this guy is supposed to be running the show. Nowadays, the reason we have all the trouble in the world now is that's been reversed.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, when you do this meditation, you're focusing on a frequency. The frequency you focus on strongest is the feeling of love, or the feeling of gratitude. Below that, you can have a feeling of like courage. Okay. The number 1 guy is love. Now, you're made out of, according to Nassim Haramein, 100 trillion cells. Okay, 100 trillion. Each one of those cells, we know now from the research of the genius Dr. Bruce Lipton, is a fully conscious individual. And then the individuals accumulate to make communities. So you have, let's say, the community of your liver, and it's a community that has specific things it wants to do. Your heart is a community. It has specific things. Every tissue, every organ is its own community. And then we as a being, we comprise a world, a universe. When every one of the communities is happy and in coherence with each other, you have power and enormous health, and just you're unbelievable. Okay.
So basically, the finest life.
Oh yes, that's yes, that is the finest life. So so what happens, of course, is that's not the case. So there's decoherence in the liver, and there's some decoherence over here in the pancreas, maybe in your bowel, and everything. All those cells are dependent on. They are perceiving their environment. So your inner your body and the tissue and the blood and everything is their environment. That's all they can see. Your perception is is giving them their environment, your perception. And your perception comes from your subconscious mind. So when you do heart coherence and you focus love, the feeling of love, using your breath and imagery in your heart, the heart then responds. And it is the heart is a magnetic field, primarily magnetic. The brain is a electrical field. The brain and heart together make an electromagnetic field, which is a massive torus. Okay, and you're being funneled from the core of the universe up, and the core of Mother Earth down.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you focus love in your heart's variability rhythm starts to really entrain and refine. And it coordinates and entrains with the brain. The brain coordinates and entrains to the heart. The heart rate variability rhythm is the leader. When that happens, your sympathetic nervous system, which is the stress nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is health and repair nervous system, relaxed nervous system, they entrain. So instead of going up and down, they entrain, they equal out. So these guys are, the heart and the brain are equalized out now with the heart leading. Sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system that is in control of all the physiologic function of your entire community of cells and organ systems and so forth, they are entrained. Now, because of that, and it's a frequency of love, cortisol, the stress hormone, drops 45%. 45%. So the stress just drops right through the floor. And when that occurs, and the amygdala in the brain is basically just going to sleep, when that occurs, DHEA that renews you and builds you, it rises 45%. So now we're in high health. Secretory IgA is in your mouth, okay? It's the first line of defense of your immune system. It goes up as high as 294%. So these are just the physiologic parameters, but meanwhile, your heart, which is now, and the brain is now making a very, very powerful electromagnetic field. But the field is dominated by the frequency of love. So all 100 trillion cells that make you, the brain of the cell is the membrane. And on the membrane surface are millions of portals, gates and channels. And each gate and channel has its own antenna, receptor site. And its job is to quantum physically pick up the energetic signal. It's reading the energies. The energy that is being dominated and radiated is love. So on the cell surface of every 100 trillion cells, all of the portals for the finest hormones, the best neurotransmitters, et cetera, they all open. And all of the doors for cortisol and acids and the negative frequencies, they close. So the only thing coming into the cell through a process we call signal transduction is a good signal. And that makes the cell say, okay, we'll express our highest genetics. Our highest, each gene has a minimum of 3,000 different options that it can express, each gene. You're made out of about 2,600 genes. But each one has all these options. So when you're doing heart coherence meditation, you are signaling to express the finest. Now, additionally, from 5 minutes of this meditation, the research shows that the power the state you just created within 5 minutes lasts 4 to 6 hours,
Mm.
unless you take a big shock, like some big emotional shock that pulls you up. So for 4 to 6 hours, now you're every second that you're living, about 1 billion cells die and 1 billion cells are born. All the cells that are born in this field for the next 4 to 6 hours are born extra powerful, extra healthy, extra happy. So you're literally, through epigenetics, you are literally rebuilding an entirely brand new body.
Yeah.
Now, more than this, where I come in with depth healing, besides all that, as the research, they have the instrumentation to look at this. The electromagnetic field of your body, which is normally about 4 to 6 feet around, it expands way out.
Yeah.
They've measured they have measured hearts. Dr. Ted Morter's research measured some guy 40 feet to the sides, 60 feet up, 60 feet down. How's that for a torus? Now, I want you to understand something. That field isn't just like some etheric whatever. That's all information. That's actually you. So when you do that, you are becoming massive, and because it's the energy field, it merges continuously with the surround. So you're literally merging into the field versus contracting into separateness.
That's
And
that's what people would say in layman's term. That guy has got presence. You know, a guy
yes,
walks into the room, he just, everyone turns and just watches a person walk in, and that's the presence. That's what you're talking about, yeah?
that is what there. And by the way, that present, who let's say you have a room or a family,
Mm.
any group, whomever's heart is the most coherent, their
Mm.
heart gives or lends and lifts up the level of all the other hearts. So one of my methods, what I'll do is when I have a group,
Mhm.
I will put them into a circle, and I'll have them do heart coherence 5 minutes first to get
Mm.
into state, and then I have them all hold hands.
Mm.
When they hold hands, all of their hearts rise up and equalize because they
Mm.
top up. Whoever's lower or higher, they'll balance out. And energy flows. We know from the research of the genius William Tiller of Stanford,
Mm.
energy flows up through the left, through the
Mm.
heart, down through the right. So
Mm.
when they make a circle, they make a torus. They're making a vortex. It's
Mm.
just another one of my applications, but it's enormously powerful.
So, Dr. G, just with heart math, heart coherence meditation itself, you can see the powerful dynamic and the impact that this would have for businesses, for organizations. Because if I was in coherence as a leader of an organization, it would mean the moment I walk in, I
Oh yeah.
get the attention of everyone. I myself is entrained. I am
That's right.
actually present. Decisions that I make, choices that I go for, when I call for information, I'm attracting the highest possible information and suggestion. Just on that alone, businesses is going to go off the roof.
Here's what Owen says is exactly the truth. And Heart Math Institute, many companies actually they'll hire in a guy, and they just do heart math for the corporation, and their bottom line and everything goes right up. So one of the reasons what Owen is saying is the research is very clear. Once you do the heart coherence and you go into state, first of all, intuition, which is a higher, is like real information, it comes in through the heart. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So as you do this, you access your intuition more and more and more. Number two, because the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system are entrained, what happens is the brain is in a more whole brain state.
Beautiful.
Normally, the brain is all compartmentalized, okay?
Yeah.
And in today's society, especially right now with the pandemic rubbish, the amygdala is a little tiny organ in your brain, and its job is to identify anything that is dangerous, possibly dangerous, alarming, anything like that, okay? When the amygdala gets lit up, it doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined threat.
That's
Okay,
right.
so let's say you walk into a room and the room is dark, and suddenly you pick up something on the floor, an image, and it looks like a snake, and you're terrified of snake. So the amygdala picks it up. It dumps the cortisol, and it literally lights up your entire body in the stress mode, starts to shut off your stomach, shut off the immune system, rushes blood away from your thinking brain. Anytime the amygdala gets lit up, blood is being shunted to the back and to the reptilian brain. So you go unconscious, you don't think well. And then what happens is you turn on the light and it was a faulty perception. All it is your belt. Your belt's on the floor. And so you smile, but you see ramping up or ramping down, it's a big shock, and it doesn't happen. With a really highly skilled, a highly skilled person with a lot of mastery, they can ramp up and down right away. But 99% of the population can't do that.
Yeah.
So you just took that shock, and then let's say you go into the office. And when you go into the office, everyone needs you to be calm, and like just before this show, Owen brought up a subject made me madder than hell. Just I'm an ex-professional fighter. I'm a fighter for warfare, so I kill people. I don't just hit them for points. And he fired me. The subject fired me right up, and then it was 1 second before the show comes on. I got to switch gears. And I can do that pretty darn good because I've been around a long time. I got a lot of training. But still, what I'm trying to get at is when in a corporate setting, for instance, this is why before you get to the office, ladies and gentlemen, before you get to the office, before you get into rush hour traffic or whatever, you do 5 minutes of this meditation. And you put yourself in a coherent state so that for instance, I do all kinds of preparation before I ever talk to anybody, before I ever look at the phone. Always. If you do that, when you enter your place of business, you are in a state of coherent power, and it does transfer to other people. Now, something you need to know, though. Your heart, they measure your heart. Your heart is your first big battery. You got 3 big batteries. Your heart, then the adrenal glands, and then the biggest boys are your kidneys. So the heart gets regenerated during the night. If you do heart coherence meditation, it's also like just taking your computer or phone and plugging it into the wall, okay? This is your primary guide, but as you go through your day, it drains because you get this news, that news, so that's why you can use heart coherence meditation to replenish your heart. If your heart shrivels up, closes down, or it's exhausted, your energy falls to your adrenal glands. If your adrenal glands, now I've experienced full adrenal collapse. It isn't funny. It is not funny. You got to rebuild. Take a long time. So if the adrenal glands go down, then everything goes to the last 2 big boys are your kidneys. If they go down, you're a corpse. You're done. So Qigong people, if there's anyone in the audience, Qigong people, they know this very, very well. So heart coherence is doing many, many things, but what it doesn't do, what it does not do, is what Owen's meditation does. Heart coherence will not let you understand that you are not your thoughts. It doesn't show that. It's not focused there. His meditation shows him the disidentification of thoughts and his true self. The true self is consciousness that is watching the thoughts coming and going. His meditation does that. Heart coherence meditation does not do that. So I make up the difference with my surgery and the Diksha. The Diksha is specifically raising consciousness so that you are not identified with anything other than your divine nature, the truth.
Beautiful.
That's what the Diksha is doing.
Yeah. I've been going into India to a specific place with a very specific individual, and every year I would do maybe about a month or so on a retreat where we do both consciousness meditation as well as heart coherence meditation, and those were really, really beautiful moments. Having met you like a month and a half back, it was a real good reminder. And since then, I've been doing these two together. And it has reminded me of a very beautiful place that I need to stay within. I know we normally don't do this for this show, but since we have a little bit of time, Dr. G, would you like to just show us the technique, a very quick show of how they can do the heart coherence meditation at home? Because I'm sure the audience would love to just see that.
So I'll ramp it up so it's even more profound than normal. So wherever you are, just sit straight for me. Okay, nice and straight. Relax your shoulders and make sure your shoulders aren't slumped forward. Bring your head back a little bit, but have your head up. Never, when you want to meditate or something, or when you're walking, you don't tilt your head forward. That causes the brain to freeze frame time, to focus on a problem. When you lift your head up into natural neck extension, the brain free flows with the present moment. So that's important. Okay, now, whatever way you're sitting, I want you to cross your ankles. Doesn't matter which one, just without thinking, just cross your ankles. Okay, now, whichever ankle is on top, I want you to cross the opposite wrist on top. So my left ankle's on top of my right. So I'm going to put my right hand on top of my left. Okay? You understand? They're opposites. Now, turn your palms to face each other and intertwine all your fingers. Okay, now bring them up like that. And then just let your shoulders drop, let your hands come to a natural resting position. Okay, now that's called whole brain. This is very profound. This starts to integrate the brain where it's separated from right and left hemispheres at the corpus callosum. Okay, now this is a very profound and superior body posture. It's doing a great many things for you. Now we're going to do the heart math. So just allow yourself to close your eyes and lower your eyes like you're going to look down at the floor. Don't move your head. Let your tongue lightly touch the roof of your mouth. Okay, now I want you to start some nice soft breathing through the nose, but I want you to allow it to focus in the center of your chest. So put your conscious awareness in the center of your chest. Just feel your chest rising and falling gently with your breath. Okay, now using your imagination, I want you to imagine your heart like a balloon, little balloon. And if you can see or imagine in color, it's a beautiful emerald green. When you breathe in, I want you to imagine that the breath is passing straight through the center of your chest wall and it's going into your heart. So the little green balloon swells up. And then let the air come back out the same way and the little balloon goes down. So you're feeling the rising and falling of your chest because your heart is swelling up with the air and it's going down as the air leaves through the center of your chest wall. Now select for yourself someone or something that you love very much. Can be anyone or anything. And as you breathe in, filling your heart, feel your heart swelling with the feelings of love. As you breathe out, the oxygen leaves, but the feeling remains. Every time you breathe in, your heart grows bright and you can imagine it getting slightly bigger with each in-breath. If your mind wanders and you notice it, just come back to feeling love, filling your heart. As though you were packing the love into your heart with each in-breath, so it keeps growing in size until eventually it's the size of your entire chest. And if you see color, it's glowing with a beautiful emerald green. Now, because you're filling your heart with love, I want you to put a beautiful, big, bright smile on your face. Go ahead, give me a big, bright smile. And remain smiling. Notice how the smile ignites the feelings of love and energy even brighter. Okay, now, to close this so that you don't lose anything that has just occurred in your brain and your whole body temple, leave your eyes closed, but unfold your feet flat. Now begin unraveling your hands and slowly open your eyes and bring all your fingertips together like me. Make sure your wrists are not bent. Expand your elbows outward and just allow yourself to feel the integration of energy as you're grounding and all the energy is passing left to right, right to left at the fingertips. And then relax. By doing this, when you ground first, then unravel, and you bring your fingertips together like this, you will access your full brain. Like if you're in a board meeting, corporate meeting, or you want to answer questions or you want to think, put your fingertips together, rest your elbows on your desk, and you will have, or in your lap, but the fingertips are touching like that, and you'll have much more access to the total brain and all your information than normal. Okay, so that's a small example. How'd that feel?
That's amazing. That's beautiful. I really encourage everyone to, do this for just 5 minutes a day. It's gonna change your life. Personally, it has for me. I'm gonna take this moment to remind you, join us every week here with Dr. G for this program, because each program we learn a little bit more. There are beautiful tips like this that helps us to get into a better space, be it for personal life, for our business, and for humanity. And you can also follow Dr. G on Telegram. You can see that the handle is scrolled below the screen right now. We also are on Clubhouse, Dr. G, every Thursday in the morning and in the evening. And we get into some very interesting discussions there. We have a lot more time, and everyone gets a chance to have questions and answers there too. I'm going to also remind everyone that next weekend, 17th and the 18th, it's going to be a power-packed weekend. On the 17th, we have this show on. And don't forget that on the 18th, we're going to be doing our group healing session. That's going to be powerful because there are already people who are saying, count me in for the coming session. So we know that there's going to be powerful work that's happening over there. That's going to be amazing.
That's so morphic field clearance, folks.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We are seeing that as a really great thing. There's a question coming up, which is what is a morphic field? Can you take that question in 1 minute?
Yes, I can answer you roughly. Just think of it like this, okay? Let's say you got 100 laptops, and the laptops are people, and then they want to store their data, and they all store their data in the cloud. The cloud is a morphic field.
Right.
Okay, that is a morphic field, and all of the universe and all life and all material, everything is parts of or belongs to strata of various morphic fields. That's where I work.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Dr. G, for today's. Yeah, thank you very much for today's session. It's been beautiful. This is your Finest Life Now with Dr. G. Rex Kruhly. And we look forward to interacting with you guys, seeing you guys in Clubhouse, Telegram. Follow Dr. G on his Instagram, as well as right here in this space next week. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.